Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new game which just came out yesterday called 1111 Memories Retold, which is a game about World War I which follows two individuals. There's a German character and a Canadian character that you follow through, I guess, what's the last 2 years of World War I, or at least that's the way the initial intro makes it seem. The game is very much a story-based game. You kind of navigate through the experiences of the war. You don't really die. Well, I guess you probably can. I could be wrong there because I did manage to kill myself once. But it doesn't really seem to be much of a heavy gameplay focused game. I'm not running around, and if I don't do something in a very specific amount of time, getting myself shot, at least not in the first hour or so I've been playing the game. But it's much more of a navigate around the map and uncover various Easter eggs that are hidden and really experience the story. There's input, there's decisions that you do make that influence the story, but it's very much a story-driven game. And it's pretty interesting. The art style is different. There's sort of this weird, grainy sort of look to all of the art in the game. It's intentionally not trying to be super high resolution and detailed. It is, I believe, one of the directors from the game Valiant Hearts, which was a sort of almost like a platforming 2D World War I game by Ubisoft in France. World War I game that came out a couple of years ago now. I believe one of the directors from, one of the design directors from Valiant Hearts is actually one of the key members behind this game. And this game also does partner with a charity called War Children, which is a charity that is looking to help out children who are victims of conflicts throughout the world today. There's a DLC for the game, which is $3, which I believe if you donate or if you buy that DLC, there's no content. But the DLC is essentially a donation to that charity. So it's kind of an interesting game. Now, this video is my first impressions of the game. This was taken from a live stream from just yesterday. And this video is really just sort of my first beginning experience with the game. Elijah Wood and Sebastian Koch are the two main characters who narrate. So there's a German main character, Sebastian Koch, and Elijah Wood. Yes, that's very right. Frodo Baggins is the voice behind the Canadian character. And with that being said, I think I'm just going to go ahead and step aside and kind of jump back in. You can see here it's November 1916. The game starts in Toronto for the Canadian character. Let's take a step back and kind of watch the stream here that I had the other day. Please feel free to leave your comments. You know, this is the kind of game that I think is going to be a little bit divisive in that, people looking for a heavy gameplay experience may not be as interested in this game. But people who are looking for more of a very heavy narrative and an immersion factor and just sort of a bit of a gut-wrenching story, again, I'm nowhere near finished, but it seems to me that it's well written, might be more interested in this. So we're going to go ahead and step back and join our hero Henry and he's the lady he is smitten by, Julia, in Toronto in the middle of World War I, but obviously he's not yet involved. So let's go ahead and take a step back, and I will turn it over to the live stream that I did. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll catch you guys at the end.
But does it always have to be on me?
Of course. There you go. There's your photo.
Well, you're not getting a serious photo out of me. I can assure you of that.
Oh, yes. So cheeky.
I shall be silly until you put that camera away. How about now, Harry? How do I look?
Oh, lovely, Julia. Lovely. Free pictures.
Right. I have to get back to work now. You should do the same.
So, this is me.
Morning, my good man. Morning, sir. How may I help?
Why is there an X on the floor?
Portraits, perhaps, in that fine uniform. Name's Barrett. Major Barrett.
Major Barrett.
I'm looking for a photographer. Well then, Major, you've come to the right place. Forgive me, but have we met
Jack's
before?
Story Part
Your
1.
face looks familiar.
So you can hear there's a sort of a narrative going around in the background with this soldier who just arrived. And my character is obviously sort of a junior employee, I think, in this game. At this photography center. The war is going on, but we're in Toronto. And you'll go around the map, and there's these different icons you can, or items you can discover. So I've found a couple of collections so far as I kind of wander around this building. You just walk up to the items and hit E to pick them up. And again, this is a very different looking art style, so... But essentially, if we see like a little rotating, like letter-like thing on there, then we want to pick that up. Basically, WSD keys. I had to map them myself. It was kind of a different controller setup, but...
I'm Julia.
Martin Barrett. And the pleasure's all mine. So, this Harry lad, can he use a camera?
That he can. His one redeeming feature, Major. One moment. Harry, bring some wine, boy. The good stuff, upstairs.
Boy? Yes, sir. I shall do so. What am I doing over here? Oh, I need to go get wine. Alright, let's go get some wine. Yeah, it's trying to be artsy, but it's not...
Some wine for the Major.
It's...
The good stuff,
I don't
upstairs.
know. The art style is different. I will definitely agree with you there. I don't know if it's hard on the eyes. I think it's kind of interesting. But to each their own, I suppose. I got me some wine. We're walking down the stairs. Gonna get it to the Major.
Ah, here we are. You took your time, boy. Useless.
What an ass.
Poor lad. I'm sure he's trying his best.
Here you are, Major. To your health.
Why, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Now, you said something about needing a photographer?
Yes, yes. Who took these? They're exceptional.
Exceptional.
Just the kind of pictures I'd need in the fight against the Germans.
How old am I supposed to be? My character looks kind of old. Ooh, the same moment in a Zeppelin factory across the way in Deutschland.
Ah, blödes Funkgerät. Kurt, du bist der Techniker. Reparier das Ding. Brennt immer dieselbe Zeit durch. Schnell, die Berichte kommen gleich.
Reports were coming in. Well, that was easy. Press one button. Press another button. All done.
Habe ich das richtig gehört, Kurt? ER 125?
Is that supposed to be like Infantry Regiment 125? That seems different.
Alles noch unbestätigt. Ist wahrscheinlich gar nichts, aber ich sag's den anderen.
I mean, they're in a Zeppelin factory, so I guess it's military production, but it seems unlikely to me that, like, the news in World War I, knowing what I do about Germany, would just broadcast casualty figures casually over the air like that. Could be wrong, but I don't think that's something that really happened
Dear
back then.
Catherine, I've done something I know you will not agree
Thank you very much for the bits there, Lightning.
It's about Max.
Max,
It's about
our
our
son.
son. I know now why his letters are not reaching you at the farm.
I do like the voice acting. I think Elijah Wood is actually the Canadian character in this, by the way. You know, Frodo Baggins, which is pretty stunning, I think, for a game like this.
Zieh den Hebel. Die Ehre gebührt dir.
Hello, Newhauser. Alright, we gotta press this lever and... Ah! Again, I don't know how detailed the game will actually get as far as gameplay is concerned. It's pretty basic so far, but it's also kind of the tutorial, so we'll see. By the way, guys, let me know how the audio mix is, if I sound like I'm coming in okay over the gameplay here.
Das wird mir wohl nie langweilig. Fast geschafft. Noch ein Hebel. Da hinten, vor der Leiter.
Just in front of the ladder. We're building a Zeppelin which will no doubt be off to bomb England before too long. What am I... Oh, there we go. Big, strong me. My bulky arms. I mean, if my son is at the front, I'm guessing that means I'm, you know, late 30s at the youngest. So that Falk character was looking for me. We need to climb up the ladder and go get him. About our sons.
Wunderschön, oder?
What's this?
Nur nicht den Mut verlieren.
Keep your spirits up, friend. Okay.
Ich würde meinem Sohn gerne ein Bild davon schicken. Wir brauchen einen Fotografen.
We need a photographer. Well, I know a Canadian guy in Toronto.
Ich platze vor Stolz, wenn dieses Schiff endlich fliegt.
Yes. So proud. I'll just go around and talk to everybody.
Was für ein Anblick. Wir dienen unserem
Serve our country well, Kurt. Okay.
Mir fehlt die Heimat.
So apparently I'm not at home? Interesting. I don't really know if, like, what's up this ladder? This isn't the ladder I was told to climb. Whoa, this is a tall ladder. Oh my god, where am I going? Hey, oh, yes. That's... alright. Zeppelin card, 1. I also don't think there's any way to fall in this game either. I think it's just kind of like, alright, you're up here, you gotta press this button to move, but I'm pretty sure, like, I can't just jump off the edge. Alright, so we did that. Might as well go over this way, too. We didn't find anything on any of these tables or anything. But I am trying to uncover all the different items that, you know, might be uncoverable. Do I want to talk to him again?
Ich würde meinem Sohn gerne ein Bild davon schicken.
Oh, no.
Wir brauchen einen Fotografen.
You already said that. What's over here? I don't know why I'm moving this, but hey. Ah, another little war bonds. This also has a very Valiant Hearts-like feel to it, where it's like there's different things. Okay, there's different like things you can uncover, and I think actually the way the game works is I can take a look at the collectibles, and so there's this war child thing. I guess they work with a charity that basically helps out kids who are victims of wars. But you can unlock different things. So, like, we unlocked both sides of the Hands Across the Sea, the RMS Victorian. And then it gives you a little bit of a sort of history or item or whatnot about the game itself, or actually the war itself. So these are like little historical tidbits about, for example, teaching you a little bit about the Canadian involvement in World War I. And so I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it ends up talking about the U.S. as well. It's kind of a neat little historical tidbit that the game includes. And, you know, I think, again, there's these things, I think, throughout the whole game that you can uncover these little Easter eggs that tell you a little bit more about the war in case you're interested in learning. And that is a very much a Valiant Hearts type of a mechanic, if you remember back to that Ubisoft game. It was made by like Ubisoft in Canada, or sorry, in France, and they had these little icons, little items that you'd run across the field and, you know, pick up, and they gave you the exact same sort of story. So now we just picked up the second part of War Bonds, so that's another little Easter egg. Again, it adds a little bit of time as we're kind of wandering around and not really progressing in the story at all. But it's, you know, it's, if you're interested at all in the history but you don't know much about the war, I think it's an interesting mechanic to get you to explore more of the game and more of the map that you could interact with. But I think this is the one we need to go up to get to this, whoever this person is we're trying to hunt down, and potentially tell them the bad news about our sons that's been broadcast over the radio. Yeah, I don't think I can fall and die. I mean, we can try and fall and die. Nope. Walking off the edge of this wooden platform does not kill me. And I can't push him off either, so it's very much on rails. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck! Oh, there we go. Now the question is, which direction do I go? I don't know if this is actually the correct direction or not. We'll find out. Where's this? Oh wait, no, that's the ladder we just came up. It gives you these little white little circle icons to kind of help you out along your way. Okay, so we gotta... Oh, I gotta pull this thing? Why they have random carts on tops of these platforms and turn it into a bit of a maze, I will never know. So I think I could have come from the other direction. I don't think there's anything else over there, though. So, looks like we could have come from either direction. So we'll climb up here.
Hey, Kurt, come here.
Again, why are we doing a frickin' balance beam act to get to where our friends are having lunch? This is very much like the skyscraper images that you see in sort of early 1900s United States, where they're building like the Empire State Building, and you see these guys just like hanging out on beams.
Das würde ich gern glauben. Aber es war die Nummer ihrer Einheit.
The narrator is in English, but all of the other characters seem to be speaking in German, which is a nice little touch.
Machst du dir keine Sorgen?
Entspann dich. Ihr macht euch alle nur so viele Sorgen, weil die Heimat so weit weg ist.
Kannst du den Direktor fragen, Kurt? Er weiß bestimmt etwas und er respektiert dich.
He respects me. Go talk to the director. All right, I mean, it's... Again, why would a director of a Zeppelin factory be like that plugged into the individual units on the front?
Beautiful. But I'd never tell her that, of course.
Okay, Frodo Baggins.
I kept one of those photos. Still have it to this day.
Which picture do we want to keep of Julia? How about the let's do the middle one. I don't think it actually matters.
Harry, where are you, boy? Get out here and take a photograph of the Major.
Guy is really annoying. Let's make sure. I think there's one more item we haven't found.
For pity's sake, boy, come here.
Just shut up, dude. You're annoying.
Come on, boy. Do your damn job.
There's no rush. I'm sure the lad's trying his best.
So make it a good one, boy.
I'm sure Father will want you for something, Harry.
Okay. I'm gonna just ignore you, boss. I haven't explored this whole house, and there's more trinkets and things that I haven't discovered, I think. Walk down this long hallway of portraits and photos and whatever. It's kind of a creepy hallway, if you ask me. Ooh, there's a globe.
My parents moved to Toronto from Boston when I was just a boy.
Oh, you get a little
But
backstory.
ever since what happened to Mom and Dad, Julia's father took me in. Taylor gave me a job and a place to sleep. He didn't need to. He took care of me for years.
Interesting. That's it? I get to spin the globe? Okay. So I guess, you know, maybe I feel less bad about him being just a dick. But he's kind of a dick still. Just saying. Alright, so we get Jack's story, which I'm curious what that is. If I go to the collectibles and I go to Jack's story. It says
Before
war
the war, we could go anywhere. The first 6 months, there was nothing. Then the shooting started. Then there was a curfew and no one could go out after 8. When the war started, nowhere was safe. Many innocent lives have been taken away because of the never-ending war. My childhood is passing. I will only be a child once.
Document from War Child, curfew notice. Okay, but Jackson, Toronto. So I get that story might apply to someone like in France, but that seems like a weird way to portray Jack's story, given that he's in Toronto. I don't think... I mean, I'm guessing that's a story of like an actual... So here's the thing with this game, is this game does have a partnership with War Child, which as far as I can understand, and there was a little video before the first time I played the game that kind of talked about this charity that helps out children of various conflicts all over the globe. Seemed to at least the footage seemed to be somewhere in Africa. I think it was like the Central African Republic. But the game is about obviously a character in Toronto. So I guess that's just something to be aware of, is that they partner with this war charity where if you I think, and I didn't really look into it, I just saw that there was a DLC that specifically said War Child. So I'm assuming if you buy the DLC, then you get the sort of that money goes to the charity, but I'm not really sure. I did buy the DLC, but I don't think you get anything for it. I think it's just like a charitable donation. All right, so I don't know what button that is. What the hell button is that? I'm going to change that. Controls. All right. We'll do that, because I don't know what that other button was. Point of interest. They'll influence Harry's principles. Interesting.
Not me, Harry. Take a picture of the Major.
What if I don't want to take a picture of the Major, Julia? I'm a weird voyeur. I want to take pictures of you. Zoom in on Major Barrett.
Major, would you also mind a picture with my daughter, Julia?
Not at all. It would be my pleasure. Come here, girl.
Oh, I'm gonna get jelly.
Come on, girl. I don't bite.
Tell me, Major, are you married?
Father!
How old is... I mean, if he's a major, he's probably a little bit younger, or a little bit older, right?
The way she was around Barrett. I'd never seen her like that before. Julia was right. He was a hero.
Yeah, okay. Sappy civilian hero worship. Okay, whatever. I'm guessing that won't be quite so prevalent as you actually experience war. I could be wrong. Ah,
125?
Deutschland, ja.
Zu Hause sind in der Einheit.
Bitte, Kurt, frag den Direktor. Du kennst ihn länger als wir alle. Er respektiert dich.
Ja, okay. I'm gonna go the other way, guys. Screw all of you. Interesting. There's red hot iron or steel or whatever. Why does it let me walk all the way back here if there's nothing back here for me? Alright. Guys, I'll go talk to the director for you.
I needed
Doobie-doo.
answers.
We all did.
We all did. So many of us at the factory have sons who went to war together. Some were even in the same unit as Max. The chief had a direct line of communication to the front. If anyone knew the truth behind these rumors, it would be him.
Oh, this is kind of cool. Although it looks a little bit patchy. There's the Zeppelin engine. The two big Zeppelin engines. Yeah, no, Neuhauser, I get that ranks get compressed during times of war. I understand that, I guess. He just doesn't look terribly young. Then again, the graphics are kind of blurry and weird in this game anyway, so. Alright, I won't bore all of you and walk around looking for all of the little potential... What?
Ah, ich habe heute schon wieder Nachtschicht.
Okay. The night shift, you say? Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know your name. We're gonna go talk to the director of the facility.
Ah, Sie kommen genau richtig. Es gibt Neuigkeiten.
Thank you very much for the bits there, J Street. Anything else in here worth looking at? I think I must have missed one of the points of interest. But I didn't really have to convince him. He was just like, I need to tell everyone.
Einige Männer aus der IR 125 werden zwar vermisst, aber deswegen sind sie noch lange nicht tot. Wir wissen bestimmt bald mehr. Aber fürs Erste muss die Produktion weitergehen. Wir können ihnen jetzt nicht helfen. Wir können nur beten.
The others may have been content to pray, to hope for the best. But I could not. What became of our son's unit? I had to know.
Enlist.
So I have gone to the front, Katrin. I've gone to find Max.
I'm impressed, Harry. You're a real
I'm confused.
professional with that camera. Listen, I'm heading back to France.
So his wife is
in 2
back on the
days.
farm,
You
I'm
should
guessing,
join
and
me.
he's in the factory.
Help
I
your
guess that
country,
sounds
take
reasonable
a
for
few
the war,
photos,
but
return home a hero. And remember, Harry,
I don't think if you
women
enlist, you're
love
gonna
that
find your
uniform.
kid.
And it was in that very moment I decided. I
To
was going to war.
enlist. I wonder how much money they spent getting Elijah Wood to do this, though. That seems kind of like a big deal
That
to
night,
get like a
I
big name
left
actor.
and never looked back. Even though it would get her in trouble,
Press F to
Julia
pay
gave me
respects.
Mr. Taylor's best camera. Truth
She
be told,
gave me
I didn't
his
ever want to go
camera?
to war. I only ever wanted that uniform.
Ah, yes, the
Maybe one
the
day Julia would
naive
look at me the way she looked at
young
Major
boy
Band.
wants to be a hero.
After that, it was all a bit of a blur. So much happened over that next month. They signed me up, put me on a train to the coast. They even gave me that uniform.
You
and
will
your
think I'm
uniform.
impulsive. But to me, there was no choice. Our son is missing at war. I cannot deal with doubt. I will not live with uncertainty. This is my path now.
"2 years until the peace, December 1916. So we can either do Kurt on the German train to the West Front, or we can play Harry on the Laurentic ship approaching France. Do we get to play both? That's what I don't know. I guess it... and does anybody recognize
before I knew
who
it,
the actor is
I
who's
was
playing
taking
Kurt?
photos in the middle
I
of
figure
the
if they have
ocean.
Elijah Wood doing Harry, they probably have someone else kind of big doing Kurt.
I'd never even left Canada, let alone been on a ship before. You could have fit Taylor's whole photography store on the front deck alone. I'd wake up early each morning to practice with my camera. We must have been close to shore that day. For the first time in weeks, I saw birds.
Birds! The birds are coming! The birds! Okay.
The camera Julia gave me was marvelous. The best I'd ever used. I could even change the lens to see things close up.
Am I supposed to, like, change the lens? I'm confused here. We're on board a ship, and we are the only one on the ship going to war. Why am I doing this?
Stop ringing that bell! We're sleeping over here!
What the fuck? Why did it let me ring the bell? Should I ring this bell too and get people pissed off? Like, I don't know why I find this so amusing. That's so dumb. Okay, so there's a bell on the ship. Good to know. People are asleep on the ship and aren't happy at me. All right, and we are off to war, guys. We're on a troop transport on our way to the front, while our other character is on board a train and trying to get to the front. So the initial look at this game is it's kind of a basic map navigation game where you uncover various tricks and things and kind of learn a little bit more about the World War I experience. So it's kind of an educational game, and it's a very heavy narrative-driven game. But that's sort of my impression so far. I think it's a little bit too early to make much of a full-blown impression. I can say that I do think it's a very interesting artistic style behind the game. The story base is interesting. It seems a little too light-hearted at this point, but that could be intentional. We'll find out, hopefully, a little bit more in the next video. But that's our first look at this game. I don't know if I have an impression yet, but it's a first look at 1111 Memories Retold. Next time out, we'll rejoin our heroes as they likely get to the front and involved in the war for the first time. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.